Yes, legends, what's going on? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little transfer news rundown show for you. We're here for a lunchtime live stream to cover all the latest morning's news and goings on. What is happening, everyone? Thank you for joining us for today's show. Do us a favour at the start of this stream. Smash the like on it. Give us a massive thumbs up. That helps the channel out, helps the stream out. Also, get yourself subscribed. And if you're on catch up later, get down below in the comment section. Have your say about anything we discuss. And of course, if you're watching live, like one of the live chat legends right now, get yourself involved in the live chat and have your say. And we'll be dipping in and out throughout. And then obviously we'll have a Q&A at the end. Big up everyone in the chat. Berber lad, what's going on? Sir David Beckham. Oh, let's go. Compost Smurf at Milius. Compost. Flying Pig, that's me. Gary Mathers. Ash Jones. G-Wolf lad. Josh Lee. Godzilla. Let's go, Godzilla. And everybody else who's in here as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in live. Let's be having you. You can do us a favour if you want as well by reposting the stream on X. There's the link pinned at the top of the live chat there. Give us a little cheeky repost on X. You know it makes sense. Good afternoon, Johnny M, Daz Salford, Sam, DJ, everybody. Francois, what's going on, you absolute legends? Great to see you all here. Thanks for joining. Lots to get into today. Obviously, Manchester United expected to be tabling another bid for Bryan Mbeumo very, very soon indeed. It's expected in the region of 55 or 60 or 65 million pounds, somewhere in that region, to get a deal done with Brentford. That's absolutely positive. Let's have a look at some of the reports. Ben Jacobs says that United set to make an improved second bid for Bryan Mbeumo. 45 plus 10 was the first offer, now officially rejected by Brentford, but parties have remained in talks since. This was just before we went live. Obviously, we discussed this last night as well about Manchester United getting ready to submit another bid, a second improved bid there for Bryan Mbeumo. There were reports coming out from Marco Alcaraz and various other sources last night that it would be in the region of a combined 65 million. I said I think it'd probably be closer to 60 or similar to the Mateus Cunha situation where it ends up being 62.5. A few things to obviously thrash out there as well. It's not just about the amounts of money, also about the terms, also about the actual clauses in the contract in terms of the bonuses and how those additional bonuses are going to be arranged. So, for instance, 30 league goals for Bryan Mbeumo gives 5 million or X, you know. So there's obviously a lot to work out there, but shouldn't be an issue. We know that the player wants to come. We know that Manchester United are desperate for this guy. And, you know, we have another source here, Disco Mirror, reporting that Manchester United are set to offer 55 million plus 5 million in add-ons. So another report here that just says around about 60 million pounds from Mbeumo, which sounds about right to me. But it's likely to be United's final offer. This is what he says anyway. The expectation is a deal will soon be agreed between all parties. And I think that's the case, really, guys. Just to start this video off on a very positive note, obviously nothing's done, nothing's actually been fully agreed or anything, but I believe that this deal is getting done in the next sort of 24 hours, perhaps today, by tonight. I think there'll be some sort of an agreement, some sort of verbal agreement at the very least, reported by someone such as Ornstein or Fab or some of those sorts of guys. I think it's going to be in the next 24 hours that there is an agreement in place. Not to say that the deal is absolutely done and official, but I think it's just a matter of time really before we hear something more about an agreement being reached. By the way, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Godzilla. Hang on, we've just got a new patron as well. What's happened there? Somebody's just become a Patreon of the channel. It will pop through in a minute and tell me who it is. Wait a second. Tommy Boyle. Tommy Boyle. It's Tommy Boyle, who's become a patron during the live show. Thank you so much, Tommy Boyle, lad, for supporting the channel on Patreon as well. You absolute hero. Are you here, Tommy? Tommy, thank you so much, mate. You're a legend. Also, Godzilla. Thank you so much, Godzilla, for the super chat here. He says, we overpaid to fuck pig. No happy. You know what, Godzilla? I feel you're right. Thank you so much, first of all, for that super chat, lad. Secondly, I feel you're right. However, I'm not so sure. You know, at end of the day, you're talking about the current transfer market. It's very volatile. You have to pay a lot of money for players. You see it happening all around Europe now. 60 million is kind of standard for a good player with you know, potential like that. Really, I know that sounds crazy, but it's kind of true. And you have to remember that these teams are in the Premier League. They're other Premier League teams. They don't really have to sell their players. They've got that Premier League money. In fact, they would rather keep hold of these players. You have to convince them to sell. So that's the reality. If you want to get a player into your side to really improve you do have to compensate that club that they're currently at, don't you? Brentford, not just going to give them away. So I understand your frustrations, because in an ideal world, we'd be picking up players for less money in terms of transfer fees and also paying them less wages to have a much more sensible wage structure of the football club. That's absolutely true. But I just believe that right now, Man United kind of has somewhat slim pickings out there. We can't sign the very top players who want that Champions League football. We have to kind of go and get the best players from other teams, from teams that are either mid-table or lower down teams, and get the best players from them. And so that's where a player like Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha come in. They are literally the best players. They're literally the best players in their teams, essentially. So it's obviously harder to get them in one sense because they want to keep hold of them. But in another sense, it's easier because Manchester United is obviously a way bigger club, much bigger club. We can offer so much more in terms of project and potential, and just also, you know, the esteem that comes along with being a Manchester United player and playing for such a huge global club. So, yes, I understand the frustrations, but I think it's not crazy. If we ended up paying 60 million for Mbeumo, I would be very happy with that personally. It's not my money. You know, but I'll ask the live chat though, what do you think the maximum amount we should spend on Bryan Mbeumo should be? And by the way, if you're just joining, hit the thumbs up button. We've got some news to get into shortly, which we're going to get into, which is positive stuff as well. Do us a favour, if you're just getting in, smash the like, help us get to 100 likes. Every like helps the channel out. Hit the subscribe as well, guys. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers eventually. Yeah, there you go. G was says 65 for Mbeumo. That's an okay deal, signing 2 players before player sales. Exactly, that's it. And you know, you're getting them done early as well. So that's good. I guess it suits both parties as well. They'll want the money earlier, won't they, to be able to reinvest and sign a replacement. And from Man United's point of view, to get them in early, Matheus Cunha, Mbeumo, maybe others if we can, before the tour started, get them on the tour, get them bedded in, get them settled for the season. Brilliant. That's how you prepare for a season. PPP. Piss poor planning, piss poor performance. But if you prepare well and early, then yes, I think we can have a positive season. So yes, I'm loving that. Oh, Tommy, thank you so much. He says sick of YouTube membership cancelling every month, so went Patreon instead. Should be done a year ago, to be fair. Mate, thank you so much for becoming a patron. I've got to add you and SCJF to the outro, so I'll do that after this stream now. Thank you so much, you absolute hero. Yeah, Burby, you Don, he says, I'd rather the money was paying for quality on the pitch for us than interest in the Glazers' bank account. Exactly, it's not our money, is it? What are they going to do? If they've just got left over 100 million at the end of the season, well, there's going to be dividends, isn't there? There's going to be money taken out. We might as well invest as much as we can back into the side here, really. And I actually don't think 60 million, if that's what it's to be. I mean, these reports are saying, 55 plus 5. I think that's about right, really, for the deal that we're probably going to end up making. I don't think that represents crazy value for money, personally. I'm not really of that belief. I think it's a decent sort of amount. Yeah, 60 million tops, 55 million tops, 60 million, 62.5. Yeah, there you go. So it's a significant amount, but it's not crazy money. It's not like paying 85 million for Anthony Dos Gastos off of Ajax. Doesn't that deal just absolutely stink, by the way? When you actually think about it, goodness me, what were we thinking? But also, is it? I'm not even going to get into it, actually, but, some dodgy stuff going on there's all I'm saying. It's a dodgy stuff going on. Mr. Channer, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate you. Yeah, Cinnamon says it's the weekly wages that's a bigger issue. Right, let's get into this, lad. So there are reports now coming out that personal terms have been agreed here with Bryan Mbeumo with Manchester United. We're waiting for the confirmation from the likes of Ornstein and Fab, but it is Disco Mirror again reporting that United have agreed personal terms with Bryan Mbeumo over a 5-year contract with an option for an extra year. And obviously Manchester United's wage structure at the club is pretty laughable. You've got players like Rashford on 350k a week, Casemiro, who's probably going to play a bit part on the same, It's crazy, crazy stuff. There's not really a pecking order or a proper structure there with Manchester United. It's just kind of, it's a higgledy-piggledy wage structure. It needs to be addressed. That's absolutely true. Selling the likes of Sancho, Mount maybe, Rashford, these guys would certainly bring a little bit of balance back to it, and therefore, create a lot of extra cash as well for us to be able to have free for new signings as well in terms of the salary. But there are reports now that United have agreed personal terms with Bryan Mbeumo over a 5-year contract with an option for an extra year. Get in there, my son. I don't think this has ever been the problem, guys. You know, people are saying, oh, he wants 250k. No. He might want that as a starting point. Their agent might want that as a starting point. But it's never going to be that figure, is it? You know, it would be closer to 180, 200k, somewhere in that region at the very most. You'd expect. Well, let's see, because it is Manchester United we're talking about. I guess I would not be surprised if we found out that he's being paid 700,000 a week or something. But obviously Manchester United need to try and get that wage structure back under control, don't we? Personal terms agreed. There are reports that say about 200,000 a week. It's the same guy, Disco Mirror, reporting that Mbeumo has already indicated his desire to join Man United, with personal terms of around £200,000 a week, said to have already been agreed over a 5-year contract with an option for an extra year. Okay, so if this is the case, great stuff. Get that done. 200k a week is a little bit too much, to be fair. You know, I would have feel more comfortable paying him 160,000 a week based on sort of where he's come from. Obviously, Brentford getting paid, 45k a week. And, you know, it's a big step up, isn't it? But it makes sense that he's going to get a significant amount more. It's coming to Manchester United. We're desperate for him. We need him. He's in his prime years. If it's a 5-year contract, that's literally taking him from age 25 to 30, which is his best years. So, of course, he's going to be paid handsomely at Manchester United. Have your say. What do you think he's worth? But that is the absolute maximum, I think, is what he's worth personally. And I would have preferred it if it was close to 150 with maybe a few more performance-based bonuses, such as, you know, bigger goal bonuses and stuff like that. We don't mind paying him lots if he's scoring shitloads of goals, for instance. We don't know. We actually don't know the makeup of the deal, of course. And there is no official confirmation or anything like that just yet, but it does seem personal terms of around £200,000 a week is very likely. There was never an issue, really. He obviously wanted to join Manchester United. It's been known for a good while that he wanted to come and join us. So, yeah, the terms were expected to be done. Plus, if you look at what he was getting on at Brentford, it was always going to be way more money at Manchester United. The job of Bryan Mbeumo's agent, and of course Bryan Mbeumo's best interest, is to try and get as much money out of Manchester United as possible. That's how it is. So, you know, they obviously have to play the game there, get the negotiations going. They might start with 250. You know, we heard reports from Fab and other outlets saying that 230 was what they were wanting. Well, okay, yeah, sure. That's what they were wanting. I mean, I could put my second-hand toaster on eBay for £17,000, but it's not going to sell, is it? You know, so it might be what they wanted, but obviously £200,000 a week is more palatable. Let's just see what you guys are saying there in terms of how much you think he's worth. Gungshi, what's going on, you absolute legend? How you doing? Welcome aboard. Hope you're doing well today, Gungers. Get in there, you absolute legend. Are you in the new honours list, mate? The King's honours list, as well as David Beckham, Sir Gungshi? You know what I'm saying? Hi, Luke CX. How you doing? Great to see you as well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, lad. That's what I'm saying. You know, cheeky little bit of cash back for acting hard. Actually, I'm not saying that. You're saying that. I'm just saying, yeah, you never know. Allegedly could be the case. 100k's enough. Oh, yeah, 100k's great. But personally don't think it will be, you know, it will be as low as that. It is Man United end of the day. You think 140k a week? Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, if we could get him on that would show a real great bit of negotiation by us actually at this moment. 150 no more. Yeah, 150k you would have paid with performance wage base wage. He should be earning more than 120k. Okay, let's have a little look. You've got a Fab tweet here, have we? Okay, hang on. Thank you for that. Let's go and have a little look. Thank you everyone for keeping us up to date here with the latest breaking stuff going on while I'm live. Let's see what Fabrizio's got to say for himself then. Okay, great. Yeah, fantastic. So basically just what we were saying a moment ago. But Manchester United again. This is big though. Let's have a little look at it. So we'll just pop this in here, guys, and then I'll get it up on the screen so we can have a look at it. So this is from Fab just now. He says he has tweeted out and he has said that Manchester United again are in direct club-to-club contact with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo. Second proposal ready after £45 million plus £10 million offer was rejected, as United are ready to get closer to the Cunha evaluation. Yeah, so brilliant. You know, that's obviously just come out now. We've reported on others saying that earlier in the day as well. And we said it earlier as well. So obviously it's coming, isn't it? Manchester United going to make that offer to improve the deal for Brentford to get this deal done. Bryan Mbeumo will be hopefully announced or agreed as a Manchester United player very soon indeed, which means that we can get him in there nice and early and move on to our next targets, which obviously we've got to discuss a little bit about Gyokeres and some others at the moment, a goalkeeper. But yes, we do have to try and move on to our next targets, because no point signing all these players if we still got flubber hands in goal. But it's looking ever increasingly likely that we will be replacing Flubberhands in goal and trying to offload him somewhere. But anyway, that's big. Yep, Fab's just tweeted and said that United again in direct club-to-club contact with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo. So positive stuff. Second proposal ready after 45 million plus 10 million rejected, as United are ready to get closer to Cunha evaluation. Nice one. Okay, so I think this is going to be Mbeumo Day. Let's just say it as it is, right? By tonight, got a feeling it's going to happen and it's going to be an agreement in place. So that's what I'm feeling like at the moment. Obviously, still some stuff to iron out, but reports are that there's been an agreement in place in terms of his personal terms of around £200,000 a week. But again, nothing concrete on this just yet. We need to obviously wait for confirmation from some of the big dogs, some of the diamond dogs, some of the Fabrizios, the Ornsteins of this world, etc. Once we've got more information from them, obviously we can start to think that this is really gathering momentum. But yes, it's obviously going to be done pretty soon. I think nobody else is sniffing around at the moment. Get in there. Let's just get into the live chat for a few minutes and see what you guys are saying about this latest Mbeumo stuff before we move on to Gyokeres and some other bits and bobs. But yes, if you are just joining the stream, hit the thumbs up button here, get yourself subscribed, and have your say in the live chat real quick. We're just going to dip in for a few minutes and see what you guys are saying. Luke CX says, whilst Cunha and Mbeumo will undoubtedly make Man United better, you find it very odd that the club has prioritised 2 new 10s. A new striker, goalkeeper, CDM and wingback would be higher. Nice, I like your style there, Luke. I like your style. Well, I kind of agree with most of what you're saying, other than maybe I don't think CDM's that high up there. Just because right now, as of now, we do have, Casemiro, Ugarte, Mainu, Collier, and Bruno Fernandes is likely going to be playing in the pivot as rather than playing in the 10 role now that we signed, obviously, Cunha and Mbeumo. So Bruno Fernandes obviously is going to be playing, isn't he, if he's still here, which he should be. He's decided not to go to Saudi. It's unlikely, I suppose, that there'll be a European giant that comes in for him, but they might. But at the moment, the central midfield position has a lot of players to contend with in there, really, I think. In terms of the 10s, we've added 2 10s. That's great. That's sorted now, right? What about the rest of the team, though? You make some great points there, Luke. Obviously, the goalkeeper position is massively important for Manchester United. But just because we haven't got anything done in regards to that doesn't mean that we won't be able to move very quickly for someone and get it done pretty quickly. I think what's happening at United right now behind the scenes is frantic. That's what I think. It seems pretty cool and pretty collected at the moment. Manchester United are putting in bids for players. We are trying to progress with business quickly and get players in nice and early this summer. That's what's happening. So fair play to them for doing that. But also behind the scenes, I'm sure there's a lot of phone calls being made to certain players on the short list to just gauge interest and that kind of thing. I also expect there to be a lot of phone calls being made to try and sell players. Because yes, we are working on signings. Maybe before we can get a Gyokeres, like you said, we need a striker. That's absolutely true. 2 most important positions in our team to strengthen the striker and the goalkeeper. So get those sorted out. But at the moment, the clubs obviously have to try and sell players as well. It's not just about signing players because Manchester United's financial issues. We have to also sell players in order to finance these deals. Remember that. So, we haven't done any of that yet. We haven't got any players out yet, apart from the few that are going to be leaving us, at the end of their contracts. Other than that, we still have to sell Anthony. We still have to sell Rashford. We still have to sell Højlund. We still ideally have to sell Onana, possibly Mount, Sancho, and others. So once we've got a couple of those out, I think you will start to see a lot more movement in regards to other positions as well. Striker, definitely, Gyokeres is being discussed and worked on. That's not something that can happen so quickly, especially when we don't have any guarantees of money being generated by Manchester United from player sales at the moment. So they kind of are in that position where we can spend because we're a giant football club. We do have the money available. There's been obviously investment from Sir Jim Ratcliffe in recent times, etc. When he bought into the club, who knows how much of that, we're not getting into that. But the point is, we can spend, but they've had to tightened things up. We've seen them do that. Well, they didn't have to do that, but they have tightened things up financially, perhaps in places they shouldn't have. Also, because of the lack of Champions League revenue, we missed out on that by losing the Europa League final. There's a lack of funds. So we have to be realistic here. We do have to sell players before we can sign everybody that we need. I'm pretty happy with how the progress is being made, though, with Cunha and Mbeumo. If Mbeumo is officially announced in the next few days, that's 2 signings before things have even really got going, for the summer transfer window. That would be amazing. And then you really do need to go and address the goalkeeper position, absolutely, in the striker position, like you say. We'll get onto the Gyokeres stuff in a little bit, but the goalkeeper position, yes, if you can get somebody in, Martinez, Costa, whoever, Manchester United will be much better placed next season to actually not be shite. That's true. Thank you so much for that, by the way. Appreciate your question, your comment there, Luke, you absolute legend. Do you think Gyokeres is... So Arsenal bid more for him? No way we sign him and Cunha and Mbeumo, in the opinion. I think we can get him. So obviously Arsenal, if there's other top clubs that go in for him, they can turn his head if they're offering him big money and they can offer him Champions League football and the chance to win things. But he does have that relationship there with Amorim. That can't be underestimated. He knows him. He's played with him. There's an experience there together. So perhaps he'll be more open to joining Manchester United, give it a go. The money's going to be fantastic at Manchester United. As a project at United, who's to say next season we couldn't be competing for Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues? Obviously, it's very wishful thinking, but let's just say everything goes to plan this year. Gyokeres and Mbeumo, Cunha, new goalkeeper. We're balling. Amorim's system's working brilliant. We finished top 4. And then next season, we're right back there, aren't we? That actually has the potential to happen. It's very unlikely because where we finished this season, but it has the potential to happen. United's that sort of club. We're a huge football club. Plus, we do have players coming in for big money. We're making strides to try and improve ourselves in the transfer window. This squad is not going to look the same as it did last season. So the likes of Gyokeres banging in loads of goals up there, the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo, these guys should transform us, shouldn't they? Obviously, the system's got to do well as well, but yes. They'll sell all who need to be sold. It will just take time. Absolutely spot on. Onana, get out, you clown, says Kevin Kilban. He's going, I think, mate. Don't worry. I think he'll end up going. Let's face it, we need a goalkeeper. There's already discussions about Emiliano Martinez. He should be available for around about 25 to 30 million this summer. The reports are that he will be leaving Aston Villa. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he'll stay, maybe he'll go somewhere else. But right now, Manchester United is on the list of destinations that he's likely to end up at. It is a better goalkeeper for us than Andre Onana. So Andre could be moved on, sold back to Serie A or wherever, maybe the glue factory. Let's face it, I don't know how many teams out there are going to actually want him, but there might be a team in Saudi Arabia, there might be a team in Italy. Let's face it, 2 years ago he was playing in Champions League finals for Inter. So Onana should be still able to be sold, and then obviously we're trying to work on a goalkeeper, but it's just... I don't know why it wasn't priority number 1. I know what sort of Luke and people were saying. I don't know why it wasn't priority number 1, but United working on those 10s. Maybe just trying to get some of the big signings sorted out early, the 2 big marquee signings there early doors, and obviously now turn our attentions to other positions in the team. Gyokeres is the biggest signing we could make this summer as well, but we need extra funds for that. He's going to be 70 million at least to bring him in. So yes, you obviously have to sell players in order to generate the cash to bring these guys in. Thank you, Daz Salford. He says smash the like button. Thank you very much for that, Daz Salford, you absolute legend. Yeah, smash the likes, hit the subscribe if you're new, guys. We're on here every day. We're going to be on here tonight at 10 p.m. and also in between if there's any big breaking news or anything, we'll cover it right away. So get yourself involved. This is the plan this summer. We're doing lunchtime streams every single day, covering all the latest days, mornings, transfer news, any breaking stuff that happens during lunchtime. And then every night around about 9:45, 10 p.m. on the channel, we'll be on for the evening's transfer news, covering all the latest goings-on of the day's transfer goings-on at United. Obviously, if there's anything really big and breaking in between, we'll just jump on straight away. But that's the plan. So make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're new. Click the bell icon so you don't miss the notifications of the streams, and smash that like button. Nice one. You hope we can get a new keeper, Lono Nana. I can't stand him. Just to watch his highlights highlights, we were scammed. When you say highlights, do you mean lowlights? Because there wasn't too many highlights. He's had a few good games here and there, to be fair to the lad. But the inconsistencies are the problem, really, with Andre. He's the sort of keeper that if you send him to the right team in the right league, he'll probably do bits. But for United, where the pressure is big and the physicality is there, the Premier League, so rough and ready compared to some leagues, and also very speedy in terms of its speed of play, that's going to cause some issues for him, and it did. And somewhere else, though, he could still be very good. When are you doing a 7 a.m. stream? I don't know about that. If I'm up and there's breaking news or something, then that's when that will happen. Thank you, Nicholas, spitting out the content, lad. Well, we got to keep it going, don't we, over the summer? We've got to keep this trainer rolling, lad, the Bacon Express. Anyway, let's continue now. So yeah, we will get into a Q&A at the end of the video, though, of course. But let's have a look at this. So personal terms reportedly, agreed for around about £200,000 a week, waiting for the big dogs to obviously confirm this. But does seem to be the case. There's an expectation United are going to field another bid there towards Brentford, and negotiations are obviously underway for around about £55 million plus £5 million in add-ons, taking it to 60 million, which is, in the region of what we paid for Matheus Cunha, 62.5 we paid for him. Ben Jacobs also reporting that United again in direct club-to-club contact with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo. Second proposal ready after 45 million plus 10 million rejected, as United are ready to get closer to the Cunha valuation. So it may well be 60, 62.5. I don't think we're going to pay a dime more than what we paid for Cunha, though. So probably 62.5 maybe at the max. Let's get on to Gyokeres then, guys. So obviously Viktor Gyokeres should be our absolute main target now. Should have probably been anyway, because like Luke said, striker and goalkeeper, the most important positions to strengthen in our team, due to Gashbags, Højlund and Onana, who were just completely subpar. So you've got to get some improvements in there. Gyokeres is reportedly keen on the move to Manchester United, keen on linking back up with Amorim, and Amorim's obviously keen to get Gyokeres in there as well. And I think that would be the signing of the summer. Obviously, it would remain to be seen how it would pan out in the season, but I expect him to get a lot of goals. But I believe it would be the signing of the summer if Manchester United could get this guy for, £70 million. Nobody's expecting Manchester United to pull that off after losing out the Europa League final to those spuddy melters. Nobody was expecting us to do that. So if we could get Gyokeres in, it just goes to show you the Goliath club that we still are, even if we do finish 15th place. So Manchester United still working on Gyokeres behind the scenes. Of course, I think it's still a case of, like we were mentioning a minute ago, having to guarantee that a couple of players are going to be sold in order to generate a little bit of cash back to then go and reinvest this in the likes of Gyokeres, because Gyokeres is a lot of money. They might have some money available there for Gyokeres, but it's unlikely that our transfer budget in this summer would be 200 million without player sales, and that's what we're expecting them to spend if if this Gyokeres deal is legit as well, and we can get him done, because they're already spending around about 125 million on Mbeumo and Cunha. We'll add another 75, and that is 200 million right there. The only way Manchester United in a non-Champions League year can afford that right now, especially with PSR and the issues of paying for players from the past as well still there, is by player sales. So yeah, we've obviously got to try and sell a couple. I think let's ask the chat. Let's play a little fun game here, guys. So we do have about 6 or 7 players who could be sold. Really, we could. Even Mason Mount, who probably a little while ago was thinking he was safe in terms of the squad role, with the new signings that we're making in his position and other players playing in that CM role, he's probably really low down on the pecking order now. But let's just play a game for a bit of fun. Out of all those players that we've just sort of listed, Højlund, Onana, Garnacho's another one could be sold, Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, the list goes on. Let's just play a game. Who do you think will be the first player that Manchester United sell this summer? Like, genuinely sell for money. Not just a free transfer going like Lindo or Ericsson or whatever. I'm talking about sell. Get in there, Mike. So I would say at the moment it's probably between Højlund and Anthony. Anthony has interest there, doesn't he, from a couple of different clubs. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat, though. Yeah, Mount has an English tax. He's not going anywhere. Plus, his wages are very high for the bang average injury-prone melter that he is. Yes, Anthony. Yes, Anthony. Garnacho, Rashford or Anthony, Rashford, Anthony. Garnacho, Rashford. So these players that we're all naming here, yeah, they're all very realistic to go pretty soon. But for me, Antony makes a lot of sense because, yeah, he's wanted by Betis. There are reports that his agents are going over there this week for discussions. There's also the reports that Erik ten Hag would be interested in him. Oh, Ajax friend. Getting him back in there, signing him for a third time. Erik ten Hag has cash available over there. Leverkusen need to strengthen. He's just got in the job. They'll be backing him. And Antony is a player that he obviously likes because he signed him twice for Pete's sake. And it's not like Antony's done terrible since he left Manchester United and went to Betis. So between Betis and Leverkusen, you could expect a 35 to 40 million pound deal on the table maybe for Antony. Antony's done us wonders really the last few months playing for Betis because he's increased the amount of money that you can get for him. If it was just the same as he was playing at Manchester United, you'd be talking about him going for 20 million. But because he did show some great quality still and show that he can still do it at a reasonably high level for a good team and play well and score loads of goals and do really well, his price tag's gone up. So yes, we should be able to get 35, 40 million out of Anthony Dos Santos at the moment. So yes, he's probably realistic to sell quite soon. I could imagine a deal done with Erik ten Hag standing next to Antony, holding the shirt, giving him the old shoulder rub. That's what I can imagine very soon. So, yes. And also, like we said, Højlund is wanted over in Italy. He's a player that surely we've got to get rid of as well. He's just pointless to have at the football club. There are clubs like Inter reportedly interested in him, which I don't know why they would be, but I kind of do, actually. The Serie A is different, and he's young, and he's still going to play, obviously, for Denmark internationally for years and progress and develop. He's not a terrible player, but he is also not good for Manchester United in terms of scoring goals in the Premier League. Definitely not. But anyway, as we were saying, we've got to sell players. Højlund is another one. Yes, you could sell Garnacho. I think Garnacho's quite realistic, I suppose, to be leaving. He might well end up staying, but with his attitude recently, what he sort of said and come out with after the Europa League final and all that sort of stuff, essentially undermining his manager. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see Garnacho go because you can't really have that going on. Sancho's another one. He'll be out on loan, but you're not going to generate cash from him, I don't think. But yeah, let's have a look at this. So Gyokeres is reportedly open to reuniting with his former manager Ruben Amorim at United, even without Champions League football. Sporting want around £60 million for the striker, and United will face competition from Arsenal. Let's ask the chat, where do you think Viktor Gyokeres ends up then, guys? I'm trying to remain positive, but my gut feeling tells me it won't be at Manchester United, actually. I'm trying to remain positive, but I just feel like at some point there's going to be some bid from some team with more to offer than us right now who are going to come in and turn his head. I hope I'm wrong, but I really am feeling a little bit sceptical about it. It's just one of those that's almost too good to be true, too good to believe right now. Man United finished 15th. We can pay players massively, yeah, sure. But if it wasn't for Amorim being at the football club, genuinely, I would just think we had zero chance of signing him. But because of Amorim, this would be Amorim's deal. If we could get it done, it would be a lot to do with Amorim and obviously the size and the money of the football club, etc. But it would only be because of Amorim, I think. Amorim probably convincing him to come, having a little bit of dialogue behind the scenes with him, giving him a cheeky phone call, making some reassurances, also making strides in the transfer window to sign certain players, making it more appealing to go and play for us. So it would be a lot down to Amorim, I think, if we could get it done. But honestly, I'm a little bit sceptical about whether or not we'll be able to do this because it's very difficult for us to convince him. If a big team, like, let's face it, if Arsenal or let's just use, one of the European giants as an example, Barca, Real, Inter, Bayern, that sort of standard team, if somebody like that came in for him, yeah, there you go, Barca. I kind of feel like it would be difficult for him to say no to a Barcelona type team. If they've got what we can't offer. Chelsea, he's not going to Chelsea, is more than likely. United, Barca, Liverpool, United, Barca needs a striker. Up United. Yeah, he can replace Lua. Rebuilding. Yeah, you agree, Piggy. I'm sceptical. Some club's going to come in for him and get it done quick. I agree. It's got that written all over it, unfortunately. Man United aren't moving ridiculously quickly on this one either, which is concerning me. We know that there's reports saying that he would be keen on joining Manchester United and playing for Amorim. So what? We saw reports on Liam Delap, the same sort of stuff for said about him as well, and he ended up signing for Chelsea. So it could easily change. If Barca were to come in and put a big bid in and also offer him big wages, and they've got the huge esteem and everything that they can offer right now, competing for Champions Leagues and all the rest of it, and La Liga titles, surely that might be too much to turn down for him. But you never know, mate. As long as the path is clear for Man United to sign him, then we will sign him. You know, he's not going to stay at Sporting, I don't think. I know he said how much he loves Lisbon and he's happy over there, but ultimately there's levels to this game, and if one of the big European giants comes knocking, he's going to go. Yeah, that's right. Tommy Boy says, the problem with Gyokeres' girlfriend and family, she's from Lisbon, her family there, she told fans she was trying to get him to stay at Sporting. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, well, he needs to dump her then, doesn't he, mate? He needs to dump her then. That's obscene. She can't dictate his life. You know what I'm saying? It's only his girlfriend as well. No, fair enough. Didn't Liverpool just sign a top striker already? Well, you know, personally, are you talking about Wirtz, obviously? Well, the thing is with Liverpool, they're not even really in that many need of much players. They needed to just get a replacement for Alexander-Arnold, which they did do in Frimpong. You know, they already just won the league at a canter. So, yeah, I am worried about Liverpool. The way I look at it, Liverpool probably win this league again, don't they, this season? G-Wolf says, nah, Gyokeres wants United pig. We got money to spend. We getting him. I like your positivity, G-Wolf, but nobody can say that with any level of actual 100%, you know, knowledge right now, lad. You know what I mean? That's just speculative stuff. But I feel you. It's a nice positive feeling you got there, G-Wolf. I'm a little bit more pessimistic. I genuinely feel like there's still the possibility that somebody else can come and pinch him. My percentage for today, we've been playing this game a little bit lately. Get your percentage of what you think the chances of Gyokeres signing for Manchester United this summer is. My percentage today, it's gone up a little bit from the last time we did this. Now I feel like we've got a 25% chance of signing him. 25%. Because there's so much money involved and we don't have the elite competitions to offer these players. There's no guarantees we can get in there next season either. You know, there's no guarantees. Surely, if you're an ambitious footballer who wants to be playing in the Champions League like he just was with Lisbon, I mean, in some ways, he'd be better off staying there, wouldn't he? You know, in some ways, not financially, but in some ways, he's the man there. He's scoring 50-odd goals a season in all comps for them. He's the absolute man. He's winning titles. He's playing in the Champions League. He scored 6 in 8 in the Champions League for Sporting. We're not in the Champions League. We're not in the Champions League, but we've still got the potential to get there. We're obviously a much bigger club than Sporting Lisbon, no disrespect. They're one of the biggest clubs in Portugal, you know, them, Porto, Benfica. There's some big clubs in Portugal. But Man United is bigger than them all, and Man United gives us, gives him an opportunity that they can't in a lot of ways. But we still don't have Champions League football, and if that's going to be a deciding factor for a player, I could see it being scuppered, unfortunately. Look at what happened with Delap. That's all I'm saying. There were reports that there was terms agreed with Delap. He was keen to join Manchester United. The same old reports there was just a couple of weeks ago. And then Chelsea turned his head. Chelsea finished 4th. Chelsea won the Conference League Cup. Chelsea finished in the Champions League spaces. So because of that, it's just a much more palatable place to go and play your football right now for him. But I love the positivity. You know, who's to say? Who's to say that we're not going to get him? I think we could get him, definitely. We just have to move swiftly. But it doesn't look like we're moving too swiftly because we're working on other players that are taking up chunks of money here, and Mbeumo and Cunha. And unless we sell players, where's the money coming from for Gyokeres? He's going to cost 70 million euros, aka 60 million quid-ish. That's a lot of money minimum. So, wow. You know, we're going to have to find that money, aren't we? We're going to have to sell Anthony. We're going to have to sell Højlund pretty quick and move quickly on Gyokeres because the time is running out. The longer that he's available and free to speak to other teams and agreements can be made between other teams, wow, we certainly don't have a long time to get this deal done, I don't think. Frimpong's a great signing for Liverpool, isn't he? It pains me to say it, lad. 35 million is a steal. He's almost like the perfect sort of replacement for an outgoing Trent, isn't he? Better in some ways. You know, G-Wall says 70%. Obviously, Trent's passing is exceptional, but, you know, Frimpong as a flying wing-back, etc., going to be great for them, I think. Honestly, any striker would be an upgrade on Højlund. So true. 50% confident, 40%, 69, 70%, 50-50, 60%. Maybe I feel like I'm being pretty pessimistic here. Nobody's as lacking in confidence as me. What's the worst movie you've ever seen? I'm going to have to say the worst movie I've ever seen is Going Overboard with Adam Sandler. Smokescreen Pig for this buy. Interesting. Okay. So, plenty of discussions going on. Look, Marco Alcaraz also reporting this a few hours ago that United are ready to initiate discussions with Sporting over Viktor Gyokeres, with the striker open to a move to Old Trafford. £55 million is the price set by the club. Okay, great. It's all speculative stuff, but if United can move quickly on it, get an agreement in place, if we could get Gyokeres, let's try and think positively for a moment. I'm trying to think realistically, but let's just try and think positively for a moment. We've got Mbeumo, we've got Cunha, we've got Gyokeres. It's basically party time, isn't it? It is. We're going to be so much better next season. Look, it doesn't make you a great team just because you've got good players, but there would be much better players in there to be able to have a much better overall output for us and become a better team. Much more higher ceiling going on there for our performances this season. Of course, you've still got to get a new goalkeeper in. That's where Martinez comes in, or somebody else to replace that flubber-handing goal Andre Onana. There's obviously certain issues with injury issues at the back there in terms of the defence as well. But that would be a lot of the problems solved. And I could see Manchester United genuinely, if we were to sign a top keeper, Gyokeres and Mbeumo and Cunha, and maybe one or two others as well, which probably will happen later in the window. But if we were to sign those guys, I would say we could finish in the top 5. Yeah, that's right. Top 5. Why not? Add Gyokeres' goals up there and Mbeumo's and Cunha's. Get Bruno playing deeper, playmaking for us alongside, whoever in the midfield. Cassie, Ugarte. Sounds very solid, very creative. I mean, it's one of the most creative sounding teams in the league, isn't it? When you've got Cunha and Mbeumo, Gyokeres, Bruno still in the team. And then players like Ahmad Diallo bombing forward down the right. Goodness me, Mazrui, these guys, okay, we need to get maybe another wing back as well. But goodness me, there's a lot of potential to be an attacking creative team with those players. So yeah, fills me with a lot of confidence that we'll be much better this season. It might be stupid to some people to think that we could finish in the top 5, right? From where we just are. But we don't have European football to contend with. That helps us in a lot of ways. It means there won't be as much strain on the squad and injuries probably won't be as apparent. We can really focus on doing well domestically. The new signing should do a lot of performances, improvements in terms of the goals and assists and all that sort of stuff. Surely we're not going to have another season where we finish with a -7 goal difference. So I genuinely feel if we have a good transfer window, if we get the players that we're discussing here, Gyokeres and Mbeumo, Cunha, Martinez, maybe one or two others, a wing back or whatever, if we get them, I feel like we're going to finish top 5. Let's have your say in the chat, guys. Thank you, OP Dragon. How you doing, you legend? Yes, top 5. I honestly think we could. We could do that. If Nottingham Forest can finish 7th from when they were expected to finish round about where we finished, then why not? If things go well, if we gain that confidence, all you need to do is win a few games at the start of the Premier League season. That's it. Just win 3 games. Win the first 3 games. Imagine if you did that. What sort of confidence boost is that going to give the squad on the side? All of a sudden, you'll start to believe, that Manchester United could do it. So it's imperative we have a good pre-season, imperative we have a good start. Nice. You just subscribed and become a patron, did you, Kieran? Kieran, you absolute lad. What's going on? Thank you so much there as well. Wait, hang on a second. It's not come through yet, mate, but when it does, thank you so much. Yes, there, it's come through, lad. Kieran, thank you so much, mate. It just came through. Kieran, everybody, can we welcome in Tommy Boyle and Kieran to the Patreons? Thank you so much, mate. That's awesome. Thank you for supporting the channel on Patreon. Yeah, there's just a few extra things behind the scenes stuff on there. Community chat, a few posts and that kind of thing. And also, yeah, there is a community chat on there. We can keep up to date and contact all of the legends in the Bacon Brigade when we're not live. So that's cool. Thank you so much, Kieran, for becoming a member on Patreon as well. Hero. Can't get much worse, Pig. Everything's an improvement. Yeah, Gungshi agrees. Absolutely. He agrees. Superstar agrees. 100%. Yeah. So in terms of where we could finish with those signings in there, people forget sometimes a few signings can really change the stars of a football club. Just have a look at Eric Cantona. Just have a look at 1992. Right, just look at that period of time. What happened was Leeds won the league, didn't they? The last season before the Prem. And then they let us have him for £1 million. Is that right? So Leeds won the old First Division the last season before the Prem. And then then we pinched Cantona. Well, not really pinched, they let us have Cantona. And then Cantona just proceeded to be a full-on catalyst for us, didn't he? He is known for one of, not just him, obviously there's players like Roy Keane, getting him in from Forest, and lots of other players as well. But there was a few key players that came in at the right time and were able to take that responsibility on their shoulders of trying to get Man United back to being a winning team. And they did that. And then look what happened. For the next years and years, Manchester United were a ridiculously successful side under Sir Alex. I'm not saying we're going to do that, guys, but I'm just saying that we have potential to be a lot better with a few key players coming in. You address the goalie's position, you address the goals. If you could get someone who had a bit of bottle about them, like Højlund at City, or, that sort of striker who's just going to guarantee you 25 plus goals a season in the Premier League. If you get something like that, then that's going to just, it could transform us, couldn't it? And that's the sort of potential that Viktor Gyokeres has to do as well. Thank you, Stacks. Congratulations on great signings. Okay, we're nothing done too much just yet, but still, we have got Cunha over the line. We are working on Mbeumo, lad. We can finish top 5 next season with Mbeumo, Cunha, Gyokeres and Bruno. We will. That's what I mean. Bruno's still here. So we were even talking about losing Bruno Fernandes this summer and having to reinvest. And we were thinking about maybe having Mbeumo, Gyokeres and Cunha, but no Bruno. Now, it looks like at least we're going to keep Bruno Fernandes. He's our best player, guys. So how much extra added quality and creativity does it give us to add those players to Bruno Fernandes in that team? Brilliant. We should be cooking next season. We've got some serious potential. Look, okay, there's going to be expectation, a bit of pressure on Amorim to get them to play well and perform. But if they're just coming in, they're hungry players, hungry signings, if they're really getting in on the project and we manage to get rid of the negative sort of toxic influences in the dressing room as well, see you later Gashford, see you later Sancho, see you later Garnacho if needed, etc., then I think you'll see a totally different team. Totally different team spirit, totally different tactics in terms of them actually being to implement the tactics, totally different style. So I think we're going to see something totally different if we can get these players that we're talking about here. I'm feeling positive, guys. Don't know if you can tell. I'm buzzing. I'm actually buzzing about what Manchester United's doing this summer. For a change, early doors we're making strides. It's great to see, and it's what's necessary as well. If we could just get rid of a few melt bags very quickly in the next week, I'll be very happy indeed. If we can see Anthony go to Leverkusen, if we can see Højlund go to Inter or something like that, I'll be starting to feel very confident that we can get some of these real fantastic marquee signings over the line like Gyokeres. Come on, United! We need a dressing room of winners. Yes, true. And not everyone can have that experience, obviously, of being there and winning things. But you need characters who can get there, who have got the ability to get there, Cantona was unbelievable, wasn't he? Oh, my God. My favourite player of all time for Manchester United. You need some big flubber hands next season for when Onana messes up, and then you can put them on and rant. It's actually quite a good idea, mate. Get an Onana foam finger. Turn. Another one bites the dust. Gladiator style, mate. I like it. But hopefully we won't have him here, mate. No, that's it, G-Wolf lad. Doesn't seem like it. Cherky's a great player from what I've seen. He looks fantastic. They're going to get themselves a really good player there. But for us, obviously we've got different ideas. We've gone for Prem proven, yeah. Amorim seems to be able to pick big pull for players. Seems he's very well thought of in football circles. Yeah, that's it. Especially considering he's obviously coached Gyokeres. But he does seem like a great guy. I don't think anybody's looked at us over the last season and gone, yeah, I want a bit of that. But there's huge potential there. Look at what he was doing at Sporting. Mate, thank you so thank you so much here to Godzilla. He makes a good point. He says, let's not compare Cantona to overpriced gash like Cunha and Mbeumo, pig. Let's be real, my friend. Okay, listen. I wasn't saying they can even hold a candle or carry the jockstrap of Eric Cantona. That's not what I was saying, mate. I was just comparing it to when we signed a few big players back then, and they ended up being big catalysts for us for change. And I feel like this is the summer that we've got the catalyst for change. Cunha and Mbeumo really excite me. Gyokeres could score loads of goals up the top there, lad. So I think we can try and be positive about it, Godzilla. I know what you're saying. These aren't the Mbappes of this world or the Vinny Juniors of this world that we're signing. You go back 20 years, Man United would just go and poach the best players from other Premier League sides as well. We could get RVP off Arsenal for 20 mil, for instance. It's not that. This isn't that. We're not there. We're not that club anymore, mate. We're miles behind. But considering where we are, considering how low we finished, getting these sorts of players in there is a real coup for Manchester United right now. It's a good window if we can get those few players in there. But fair enough, lad. I don't know if they're really even overpriced. You say they're overpriced. I don't think they're overpriced. That's just sort of the going rate for these players right now. Prem-proven 25-year-olds who have done bits in the Premier League for lesser clubs. They need compensating, you know. But you're talking about 20 goals in the Premier League for Mbeumo this season just gone. 8 assists. And then Cunha's got similar sort of goal contributions as well over at Wolves. So I don't think that's really... I don't think they're expensive, mate, for the players that they are personally. I think they're about, you know, they're towards the top end of what they're worth, but they're about right. There's nothing too crazy going on there. It's not like we paid 90 million for them, is it? Inatama, thank you so much for your super chat, lad. He says, seems like the FA Cup is extra important for the trophy to boost confidence. The gateway to Europe. United have a history of deep cup runs, so it could help. Oh, yeah, so true. And also, obviously, the League Cup's going to be a focus for us. All the domestic cups, we can really focus on them. Not that I want to win the Mickey Mouse League Cup. Like you say, FA Cup gets you a chance. You know, you're in Europe if you were to finish outside the top 7 but win the cup. You're in Europe. So that is a very good point you make there, lad. But all the competitions are going to be very important for United this season because we have no Europe. So we're going to be going for it in the League Cup, the FA Cup, and obviously the Premier League. We have less to focus on. We don't have those midweek games. So it's going to be a lot better for us. I think we'll be able to focus and probably go deeper in all those competitions than we would have done if we'd had Europe. So in that respect, it's good. Maybe not, maybe not. Europe's great, obviously. You can give players opportunities in the squad, you can rotate. But ultimately, the less games you have, to a degree, obviously, but the less games you have, there's already so many games. The less games you have, the better for the squad, isn't it? And it just takes a little bit of strain off having to sign maybe a couple of players extra. We can have a slightly tighter squad. I know, yeah. Well, that's what we're hoping for. Fingers crossed, Tom. Imagine if we sign Gyokeres, Arsenal and other Prem teams will have a meltdown. Get in there, my son. Love that, love that. Right, guys, okay, so I'm just going to do a little rundown of what we've discussed in this video. Then we're going to get properly into the Q&A here. We've just smashed 250 likes. Thank you everyone who's hit the thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to 300 likes on the stream. Also, give us a subscribe. If you're here for the first time ever, get yourself subscribed. We cover all the latest Manchester United news here in a no bullshit, no clickbait guff way, right? We just cover the latest reports and discuss them and get into it as a community. So yes, if you're new, consider subscribing down below. Click the subscribe button. That's the red one, in case you struggle reading there. It's the red one. And also hit the like button and get yourself involved. Before we get into the Q&A and also rundown, I'm just going to go over there and shout out everyone who's reposted us on X. Thank you so much to the legends who've shared us around. Let's take a little look-see over there who's reposted. We've had 11 reposts. Thank you so much to you, Dons. Big up Tommy Boyle, lad, get in there. United flying high, Francois Coq, G-Wolf United, Compost Smurf, lad, I'll give you a follow back. Apparently I'm not following you. You what? Javier, John James Power, John Boy Cat, the GOAT Richard Wisterpeck, Paul, the Butcher of Manchester, and Tommy Boyle. Thank you so much to you absolute legends. Really appreciate you all. Get in there. Okay, let's get into it. So, very quickly, just for anyone who's just got in the chat here, I'm going to have a rundown very quickly of what we've discussed. I didn't even mention this either, by the way. There's a couple of things. I've just been absolutely going off on tangents today. Sorry about that. But there's a couple of things I haven't even mentioned. So, United not in for Osimhen. We're not pursuing it. This is via Mark Ogden. I think we knew that anyway. Gyokeres is the one. He's just a money-grabbing bastard, it turns out. Can't even agree deals with Saudi teams, this guy. United will not be pursuing a move for Viktor Osimhen. United believe Osimhen is not the profile of striker required by Ruben Amorim. Yeah, we need somebody who's not a money-grabbing mercenary at the moment. Reports from the Mail saying that United have made contact with Aston Villa for Emi Martinez. Take that with a pinch of salt. Gyokeres open to Amorim. He's interested in, obviously, reunited with his manager Amorim, and there's reports that Amorim's been in contact behind closed doors. Discussions are ongoing. So this is a report from Michael Alvarez. Says United are ready to initiate discussions with Sporting over Viktor Gyokeres, with the striker open to a move to Old Trafford. 55 million is the price set by the club. And then the biggest sort of reports coming out about Mbeumo, if you're just getting in and missed it, reports suggest that we are about to table another big bid there for him, an improved offer, somewhere in a region of 60 million, 62.5 million, somewhere in that region, combined with obviously some of that being taken up by additional bonuses, etc. extra fees. So it remains to be seen exactly what the deal is going to be there, but it shouldn't be too far away. Also, a report here from Disco Mirror says United is set to offer 55 million plus 5 million in add-ons to Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo, but this is likely to be United's final offer. He also says that Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Bryan Mbeumo over a 5-year contract with an option for an extra year. Awaiting confirmation from that from some of the big dogs. And then also, Bryan Mbeumo already indicated his desire to join United with personal terms around $200,000 a week, said to have already been agreed over a 5-year contract with an option for an extra year. So that's the situation as it is, guys. Come on, United. Looks like we're doing work. Mbeumo is on his way. Shouldn't be too much longer before we can say that there's an agreement in place. So happy days, guys. Let's get into the live chat then and see what you legends are saying for yourselves. Thank you for joining, everyone. Great show today, by the way, guys. Loads of legends in here. Everyone loving the debate today, aren't they? In regards to who we should get, what's realistic. I still think Gyokeres is a little bit hopeful, I'll be honest. But I think, obviously, Mbeumo and Cunha, that's basically done. Hey, what's up? What's up there, Cams? He says, I'm a Wolves fan. The only thing I hated about Cunha was how he was off the field and on Twitter and socials. What he was saying, he walks around the pitch, but he's a quality player. Yeah, there is a bit of an attitude issue maybe just there. But he is definitely a quality player, like you say, as long as he can be kept in check and work very well for us. I don't have a problem with it. I don't care if you're the biggest dickhead off the pitch, to be honest. I mean, I do, obviously, to a degree. There's got to be a point. But ultimately, it's about what you do on the pitch for Manchester United. So Cantona reportedly wasn't like the best trainer, was he? Some may say he was arrogant. Apparently wasn't the best trainer, but let's face it, Sir Alex managed him perfectly, and he got the best out of him. As long as you're performing in the games, I couldn't really give a toss. People talk about this whole attitude and, working 100% hard. Yeah, great. I love a player who gives it 100% commitment. Do you know what I love a player more, though? A player who actually performs in matches. So some players are just big game players. They turn up and they do the business. Other players, they might train and be professional, but ultimately they could be melters. So there has to be a fine balance. Professional is so important, of course. And if you're going to unlock your true potential, you need to be dedicated, committed, professional. But the most important thing for a footballer is to be good. That's the most important thing for a footballer, is to be good when you play on the pitch. Thank you so much, Ism Bar there. He says, I've just subscribed and I enjoy your analysis. Thank you so much, Ism Bar, lad. Appreciate that. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, we're on here daily, going to be on here lunchtimes and every evening around about 10 p.m. UK time. So, yeah, look out for us there, Ism lad. We'll be on tonight again at 10 p.m. Nice one at Millionist Ad. Xerxes also going big. You think, well, I would rather keep Xerxes personally as a backup option for the striking position, but also as a backup option for the number 10 position as well. If we're getting rid of Garnacho, I don't know if we could really get rid of Xerxes as well. There's still talks of Mount maybe on the outgoing as well. So, I don't know. I wouldn't sell Xerxes. Guys, keep or sell Xerxes. What you saying? Keep or sell. But I wouldn't sell him because he's still shown some real good abilities with the limited opportunities, I guess, that we've seen from him, but also the shite team around him. But he's shown some good creativity. I like the way he links up. He's good. He's a good player, but he's still obviously not the standard that we need. But he could be a good squad player. Love this channel. Thank you, Luke, you legend. Do you think Mbeumo has been greedy with the wages? We don't actually know what they are just yet, mate. I know this report here does say 200,000 a week, but we don't actually know what they are. And no, to answer your question, no, not really. It's not his fault, is it? He's coming to Manchester United. Everybody knows what we pay our players. Like there's a structure. It's almost public. You know how much Bruno's on. You know how much Rashford's on. You know how much Sancho's on. You know how much all these players are on massive money. If you're going to come and play for Man United and deal with the extra added pressures and the exposure that it comes with, because remember, United's a global club. And Mbeumo, no disrespect to him, right? Playing for Brentford, he's probably the sort of club where you could play for, right? Obviously big football fans would know, but he could, let's just say, go on holiday in Portugal, right? He could go on holiday in Portugal to Madeira, and he could go around and he could have a good old time, and probably not too many people are going to bother him, right? Because he plays for Brentford. No disrespect, people would recognise him, sure. But I'm telling you now, if he was a Manchester United player and Mbeumo goes on holiday to Madeira or wherever, he's getting mobbed. That's the difference. It's a global club. The exposure's massive. So it comes with extra added pressures and strains as well. So you kind of have to be compensated for that. Plus, there's extra pressure and extra expectations on what you're supposed to do at United. United are supposed to be a top club. We're supposed to be winning things. We're supposed to be challenging for things. Yeah, keep Xerxes. Keep him. But if a good offer comes in, keep. I'd much rather get rid of Mason Mount first, though, is all I'm saying. Would be hard to sell, I get it. But out of the two of them, Xerxes and Mount, they're both going to be playing secondary roles for us this season. Out of those two, see you later on, Mason, you gash lad. That's how I would feel about it. Brian Clough always says the league is where it's at. All other cups and comps require a greater dose of luck. The league should be our bread and butter. Yeah, I completely agree with that, lad. That's such a great quote, and it's so true. Sell, keep. Yeah, Tommy says keep, much more to potentially come from him. Yep, Daz says keep for the squad. We have 6-10s, fair, but by the end of this window, we'll probably only have 5 or 4. I think Garnacho's going to be going. He was playing in that role for us. Maybe Ahmad will be utilised more as an attacking wing-back at times as well, Francois. So, yeah, I feel what you're saying, though, but Mount should be the melter to make way. Definitely keep Xerxes. He will only improve with better players around him. Beats guy says you'd sell Xerxes ASAP. Don't think he's good enough. United took less than 20 shots in Premier League last season. Ugarte, I think, scored more goals. Get rid of. Hey, fair enough, interesting. But also he was playing a link-up role for us a lot of the times. It's not like he was playing as the number 9, was it? He's mostly playing sort of in behind. And a lot of the times coming off the bench. But fair enough, though. He certainly hasn't had a great stats season. You're not wrong there. He passes the eye test for me, though, because he has great feet. He also has a bit of physicality about him. He can hold it up. And he also has like a bit of vision and intelligence on the ball. So he kind of passes the eye test at the moment to a degree. He hasn't done anything spectacular, though, I'll give you that. Cunha is a bit of a hothead. He could rack up a few red cards for you next season. Well, as long as he racks up 20 goals or something, I'll be happy with that, lad. We need some firepower. Tommy says the 200k a week's a magic number for players after tax. 100k a week or 5 million a year after tax seems to be going rate nowadays. Yeah, true. That's it. When you actually think about what they're getting after tax, fair play to them for not going to Saudi. Like Bruno Fernandes could have gone there for 700k a week tax-free. Instead, he's staying at United for 175k a week in the bank. He's on 350k a week, but yeah, the 50% tax bracket obviously means that he actually only takes home, I say only, he only takes home 175 grand a week. How does he survive? Not sure on Xerxes Piggy. It depends how quickly we do our transfers. Wait and see. True. Yep. Fair dues. Exactly. Yes. Come on, Mbeumo. Let's go Solitude. Should Jadon Sancho be the new canteen lady for a club as she's been fired and the club needs new reinforcements? Honestly, I wouldn't trust him to make a cheese sarnie, lad. Honestly, another one. Nah, you're all right, boss. I'll tell you who would be good at that. Andre Onana. Andre Onana would make a wicked butty. I'll tell you why. He's so used to buttering his gloves with Lurpak spreadable butter, mate. Like, the distribution over that piece of bread there would just be absolutely perfect. Yeah, Mount too. You get rid of both Xerxes and Mount. Yeah, fair play. Mount should be going, definitely, in my opinion. But he won't. It'll be so difficult to sell. Who would want Mount? I can't imagine anybody wants Mount. Maybe if we sell him for 25 million and pay a chunk of his wages, but he isn't Mount on 200,000 a week. That's just crazy. Dilvani says we just need to be better than Forest, Newcastle and Villa, maybe even Chelsea. Interesting take. You know what, Dilvani? Yes and no. I mean, I'm not overly... Okay, yes, I like we said, but also I'm not overly bothered about like potential... Just never mind. I don't know what I'm even speaking about anymore, lad. No, I was basically going to say, I think it's more important, obviously, we just focus on ourselves, basically, and try and be as good as we can. But obviously, it would be nice to finish above those melts, definitely. Mason Mount is a wet wipe, that's true. Xerxes can be a backup for Bruno also. TV Clark says sell. Ahmad's going to be a right wing back, surely. Yes and no. So he will still, of course, be utilised as number 10, probably playing for Mbeumo as a secondary player there sometimes as well. That's going to happen too. But also, I agree with you. I think there'll be loads of times when you see Ahmad playing as the right wing back when we are the team that's got the emphasis to attack, whether it's chasing a game or against opposition where we're controlling it and we're expected to batter them, whatever. I would imagine that Ahmad would make a great option for the right wing back. And let's face it, if you need a goal late on, there's not many players better in our squad right now to come on and try and make something happen there down the right. He's a bit of a menace. Of course, he's going to play in other areas of the team, I think, though, because some of these players we're talking about, and Mbeumo can even go up top if you need him to. So there will be a bit of rotation going on there. Piggy, we want you as our keeper. I certainly wouldn't do any worse than that. You're spot on, Mason Mount. He's gash, got to go. Yeah, you hope we get Mbeumo. Be a great link up with Cunha. Oh, definitely. So tired watching this trash Garner. Interesting, yeah, well, he was inconsistent for us this season. I like him, but if he doesn't want to be here, if he's not happy with the project, not happy with Amorim, whatever the case may be, see you later on, Alejandro Garnacho. No player is bigger than this football club. And I say that with a heavy heart because I think Garnacho has potential to be a really great player. And last season, he was one of my favourite players. The season before last, obviously not the season just gone. Keep Xerxes as TCG hub. He has grit too. Yeah, he seems a good character. He definitely does. Cunha and Mbeumo going to feed from Xerxes big time. You do like Xerxes' attitude. Yeah, that's it. His character's good, isn't it? Not giving up, staying quiet on socials. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. I'd rather have a committed professional player like that than some sort of, prima donna melter. Diogo Dalot is gash too. He's a good squad player, mate. You can play him left back, left wing back, right wing back. He's played there quite a lot for us this season in both positions. So he is actually a versatile squad player. Not everyone can be a starting player in your team. You're going to have 11 starters and at least 11 subs. And he'll be one of the subs. Xerxes can be backup for Bruno also. Yep, Cunha only has one red card in his whole career, says Tom Riddle. Nice, mate. There you go then. So whoever said that about getting sent 3 times is maybe a bit inaccurate there. You forgot the butcher plays for us. I know only. Xerxes could be a great centre-back. Retrain him. Let's retrain Xerxes as a centre-back and retrain Slabby Maguire as a centre-forward. We can't fix this entire mess in one summer, but if we do get Mbeumo and Gyokeres Osman for the striker position, we would have massively improved our attack. Definitely so true. It's not going to happen in one season, is it? But it could give us the basis of a squad to be able to kick on and be a much better team by the start of next season as well. Like in a year's time, we could be a much better team, because they would have all played together for a year, developed together as a year for a year, and obviously played that style and system and everything. I think, like in the future, it gives us, we'll still have those players for years to come. They're great players that we're signing. Jacko says, after Mbeumo, I don't think anyone else will happen by the 9th when this transfer window closes. Is that a fair assumption? Depends on player outgoings, lad. I don't think that's fair, actually, Jacko, because we need a goalkeeper and we need a striker. If we were only going to sign 2 players this summer, it should have been a goalie and a striker. We've gone for these number 10s. So I think we'll definitely sign at least 4. Because we have to get a striker, we have to get a goalkeeper. It's a must. Ten Hag's agent come out saying Eric Ten Hag to block the anti-move due to price. Oh, mate, come and get him, please. Onana would fumble the tea tray. Mount on 250. Just crazy. Sancho going to become head of the nursery. He'll fit right in with the petulant Rugrats. Piggy, what are the chances of us selling that gash Luke Shaw? 0, mate. 0. He's always injured. Perhaps Frey Bentas FC over in Uruguay would be interested, but other than that, he's almost impossible to sell. He's injury prone, he's on 6 figures, he's bang averagely gash. Nobody wants him, mate. Mason Mount, use Xerxes as centre-back. He was joking. Can you imagine the Barcode FC meltdown if we get Mbeumo and Gyokeres? Zebra shirt wearing crybabies. So true. I mean, it goes to show you, Manchester United, if we were able to beat off teams like that we are still able to attract the top signings more so than some clubs like Newcastle United. As you've just mentioned there, they are they're better than us right now. They've got that Champions League football, but Manchester United is just a bigger, better club history-wise. I wonder how we will do next season. 1 game a week. That's it. Take each game as it comes. Onana will fumble the tea tray. I read that, didn't I? Just take each game as it comes. As I said, if you start the season well and have a really positive first few games, there's absolutely no reason we can't have an amazing season. You just got to start well. It's very key that you start well. Imagine if United were to lose the first 3. We lose the first 3 games. All of a sudden, the sense of that depression carries over from last season. The new players get a bit of the negativity. I'm not saying they couldn't turn it around after losing the first 3, of course. It's a long season. But the importance of starting well is huge. If you do win the first few games, all of a sudden, you've got confidence of a challenge inside. All of a sudden, Manchester United and their new set of players will believe that they can maybe go up there and do some good things. Look at what happened with Forest. Look at what happened with Leicester City in 2014. Or was it 2015? Around then. Anything is possible, guys, if you believe. and if things start well and go well, you just start to get that momentum going, don't you? Leicester's the finest example. They were 5,000 to 1 before they started that season. They ended up winning the league. That was just sheer momentum, wasn't it? They started well, they carried on, and the momentum took them over, basically. They obviously were amazing as well, but they needed that. They needed a great start. What's Cunha's best position? I think it's got to be playing the left 10 for us. The left-sided 10, essentially. Right, I'm just going to read a couple more comments out then, guys. Thank you, everyone that's got in here in this community chat today. Bunch of legends. Keep smashing those likes. Keep hitting the subscribe. We're only 14 likes away from 300. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't done it yet. And make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're going to be covering all the latest Man United news as and when it happens. We don't want a geezer that plays FIFA all night. True, are you talking about me or Jadon? Jadon Sancho's got to go, definitely, but he's going to be difficult to sell. Zelxy built different. You think we sign at least one more? Yep, Onana joined Ten Hag again. Godzilla, thank you so much, mate. Come on, let's go, lad. Thank you so much, Godzilla. He says, small donation again for the amazing streaming. Oh, Godzilla. Appreciate you, Godzilla. Thank you so much. Can we get some big love in there? Maybe get a monster emoji in there for Godzilla. Godzilla, that's lovely, mate. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, lad. Pete's Coach has never been to England, but I know enough about Newcastle to know it's a shithole. Who the fuck wants to live and play there? Yeah, there's an old expression actually there, Beats Guy. I don't know if you have the class system over there. It's not the same, is it? But there's an expression in England, right? So you think you're working class? Go to Newcastle, you'll realise you're middle class. You know, that's the expression. It's not mine. I didn't make that up. That's the expression. Thank you so much. All you ask for next season is some bloody fight from them in games. Personally think we need the keeper sorted to make the difference. Yeah, definitely. Heard Inter Milan have put in a bid for Rashford. Oh, come on. That would be lovely, Matty Smith. There was some interest from them previously, wasn't there? I hope it's not true, personally, Matthew. I hope they take Højlund off of us and Rashford goes to Barca or something. No worries, Jacko Lewis, lad. You don't think all that Mbeumo will happen in the next few days? Yeah, I think Mbeumo will happen. But I also just think we'll get a few players gone. We'll get a few players gone soon. Give us that Wirtz money, Leverkusen. We got Onana, Antony and Mount to sell them. Ineos and Glazers out. How much signings do you expect? I expect 5 signings. 5. Let's just say a goalkeeper, Gyokeres, Mbeumo, Cunha, and one other player, maybe a wing-back. I reckon we'll get 5 proper signings this summer. What about you? That's hilarious. Says Pete's guy. Can't even trust Onana holding a baby, let alone being in goal for us. Oh, Daz. Right, okay. Legends, by the way, thank you for joining us, guys. We better wrap up this stream. We've been on here for an hour and 13 minutes. Holy shnikes. That's a long time. That's flown by. Well, big ups to the live chat legend. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here. Thank you all the reposters on X. You can keep sharing us around on X if you want. Give us a follow on X there. Flying Pig United is the handle. Same as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Kick. Everywhere is Flying Pig United. Links in the description. Give us a follow up there. Make sure you do hit the subscribe button on this video, guys. Give us a meaty subscribe. We're on our way to 91,000 subscribers. Give us a subscribe and help us get there. Also, as I say, we'll be back on here definitely tonight at 10 p.m. And if there is anything big and breaking between now and then, we'll jump straight on. But as always, definitely 10 p.m. tonight, we'll be on for a cheeky transfer news show, guys. Come and join us for that tonight. Legends, click the bell icon, click the subscribe, click the like, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, Tim, Solitude, Madhouse, T-Mill. We triggered a Geordie. Newcastle, much nicer city than Manchester. Manchester's a shithole. We've triggered a Geordie. How are you, man? Most of the team can't play the system, so need new team. We'll leave it with that. So true. We do need pretty much a whole new team, don't we? Get rid of 6 or 7 players and sign 6 or 7 in an ideal world. Nice one, Solitude, Beats Guy, Jonathan, Superstar, Man United, Greek fan, Bizarre, Daz, Gangshi, Legend, all the moderators, Gangshi, Daz, Jonathan, Beats Guy, and everybody. Thank you for getting in here. Big ups to the Super Chatters there, Godzilla. Thank you to all the members. Thank you to the 2 new patrons during the show as well, Tommy Boyle and also Kieran. Big ups to you, Legends. You will be added to the outro very, very soon. Thanks, guys. Nice one, Godzilla. Thank you, boss. United, Greek fan, Madhouse, Solitude, MVE Rain, and everybody else as well. Have a great day, and remember, Piggy loves you. United seem to be doing bits early doors. Let's get these deals done. And Mbeumo incoming. Personal terms reportedly agreed. Waiting for proper official confirmation on that, etc. But also looking likely that it's going to be done in the next 24, 48 hours. Come on. Come on, United. Right, guys, watch this space. Catch you on the next one. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on